Good evening, good afternoon, good night. This is one AAA podcast. That's one absolutely African American podcast. And that's me. I'm your host, the Hypocritical Cynic. And you can contact me at one AAA podcast at gmail.com for writing assistant, writing muse, life coaching speeches, anything like that. After that, go holler at Vic, professional and courteous. I know you heard of us. Great team. Recorders and producers that massively put together any project that y'all need to come up with. His contact information is Vipushstudios at gmail.com. And Vic is a master producer. He got you in the way of music, from one song covers to mixtapes to full-length LPs. No matter what you need in the middle, he got you. He got you in the way of film too. He got you in the way of film, in the way of if you want a professional social media skit, music video, or a full 3-hour movie. He got you. Bring your skit, script, actors, or just bring a dream. He got you. When you get through hollering at Vic, go on Instagram and go to Dirty Kicks. That's DIRTYKICKSSS, 3 S's. Holler at him. He got you on any shoe. It don't matter. Color, current, classic, manufacturer, release date. He got you. That being said, we're gonna get slapped right deep into the show, and it's a show that's not so apparent to everybody, but we all going through it. You know, I heard a reporter or a narrator or something like that was speaking about, the situation that's going on, the world dilemma that we're going through. He said, they will actually be writing, biographies and books and stuff about these time periods right now, later on in life, because the world is changing. I'm not going to put the onus on the pandemic. I'm just going to say we can all agree that the world is not going to be the same as we used to know it before. And I feel like we should all accept the transition. A personal theory of mine, I just need to get Bart out the way. I mean, his name Terry, but he said I can call him Bart. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. But he say I don't have to do this, but if I do this, it allows him to timestamp something and timestamp that and the possible plagiarism. Then he can save me billable hours. Like I say, I don't even know what all that means. I just try to podcast a little bit. But he said it makes sense real soon. I don't even know what that means. But like I say, I always say my effort to do all this is just black card status. That's it. Where I can go buy whatever island or boat, jet, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Warehouse, land, machinery, whatever I need. That's the only reason I'm doing it. I want that for me and 5 by 5 other people in my life. And one person, post-mortem after I'm gone. I mean, them people in perpetuity. I don't want they shit to stop when I die. But yeah, so let me shout out to my artist NC. Y'all see that? Literally on top of the world. Right now, your worst day, you literally on top of the world. But we're gonna be up under that thing one day too, every last one of us. And then you see Broken Heart Made Me. And that means like, Broken Heart Made Me is like, let me say it like this. If the best architects come together and renovate an old building, or one-story building, or if an old artist come in and renovate a room, I don't know, if 9 or 10 old architects, really good at what they do, come remodel a vacant business structure, you'll still be able to see the cracks. So that's why I say when I say a broken heart made me. But here we go. So pandemic ain't really changing the world, but the world changing. School, how it's going on right now, it should be up to the parents if their kids have to go back to school. But even the premise of that sentence lets you know that they shouldn't be going back to school, in my opinion. But eventually they won't have a chance to go back to school. When I say eventually, I'm not talking about forever and ever. Eventually kids will go back to school, but not before a big, huge, map-changing war. That's the only way I could word it. But I'm gonna get into like the particulars first, and then I'm gonna get into some theories and stuff like that. But like as far as school-wise, I mean, it's gonna be one way. It's gonna be on the internet. You can work the kinks out, settle civil liabilities, but eventually you're just gonna have, one instructor or a multitude of instructors on a laptop or screen for the kid to understand and then be able to turn in work. It's more economical, really. You know what I'm saying? It works out better as far as fiscally. Now the teacher-student relationship, as far as tacit learners, that's not, it's not gonna help them too much. But as far as like the future, where we're going for right now, I ain't gonna say forever, but where we're going for right now, before we have a big old dust up around the world, it's gonna be on the internet. But thankfully, we still can try to actually, I'll say quote unquote educate kids right now, because that's not the premise of what's going on. It's deeper than that. But yeah, it's cheaper to have it that way. The liabilities of people getting injured on the premises, the catastrophes, possibility, feeding the kids, it's cheaper. The busing, is that's a whole addition to the budget instead of like a subtraction. Keeping the rooms and everything, the piping systems all over the school districts, all over the country, the air conditioning, all that stuff like that. It's actually cheaper, so eventually this is gonna be seen as the only way. Right now, this is just a transition, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't just draw a line and tell people that they don't know what they're talking about that came from the past. It's like going from horses to buggies and buggies to cars, you know what I'm saying? So like that transition, we caught up in that transition right now, Industry 2.0. And for y'all that think y'all ain't caught up in it, yes you are. Unless you know how to code, unless you're an entrepreneur, unless you know how to farm. I'm talking about this one person, one family now. That's why it takes a village. Unless you know how to do all that stuff by yourself, you really caught up in Industry 2.0, because the way you live life will change. It already has, but I ain't gonna get caught up in all them examples and stuff like that. The technology is there. Being able to resource the teacher, or the teacher, having access to the resources. You know what I'm saying? It furthers education, because everybody has a format where they can learn from each other possibly, but more from the instruction of the teacher that's on a screen, instead of, having to go through the drudgery of being in a monotonous situation, being forced out of your comfort zone. Because you lose a lot of kids in that transition. Some people could sit down with the same test and do great at home and then go to school and mess it up. But, that's like, I remember one comedian said, it's like, I'm not good at test taking. I think it was Chris Rock. I think it was. He said, oh, when they find out how smart you are, you're not good at it. But it's a whole different thing now, Smart don't matter. Can you actually contribute to society where you can be remunerated fiscally? That's what this world is about. Helping other people while helping yourself. That's what true happiness is. But like I say, it's cheaper, the technology is there, and the safety. It's all go for it to be a whole industrial transition from industry to technology. In school, money, they claim a coin shortage. We don't know where the coin shortage came from. They might have just took the coins away because of the pandemic, tried to make everybody not be able to circulate coins, so for the possibility of getting sick. I don't think they told us that. They told us a federal coin shortage. Where did the coins go? Will they ever come back? I don't think they're coming back before this situation turns into a war that's going on. With like literally coins are gonna be a thing of the past. I'm not sure if paper money goes away, but coins are gone. Debit card only. And then if you spending cash, no change. So the paper money going away too. Eventually I don't know. But what I do know is when we go to a paperless society, as Scotland, I think some other countries have already done, I mean pre-pandemic, there's gonna be a reinstatement fee. Let me explain. There's gonna be a reinstatement fee that's gonna make somebody rich that's allowing you to use your money. Let me go deeper. If the government controls every spending dollar you have, all cash-based businesses are pretty much gone. Cutting the grass for cash, washing cars for cash, lemonade, all that stuff gonna be gone. The back end at these shows, and all the $10,000, $20, all that stuff like that gonna be gone. Everything gonna be on a debit card system. And if somebody could freeze your account, they will. So eventually they're gonna have the autonomy to freeze anybody's account. Deemed a criminal, deemed suspicious by whatever they call it, who cares, whatever. They're gonna be able to cut your card off. And you're gonna have to pay money to get it reinstated to prove that you're not a threat in the way you spend your own money. I don't know, it's gonna be crazy. But the reinstatement fee is gonna make somebody's family very rich. This is just me being a prophetic person, letting you know that when we go to a cashless society, it's not gonna be all good. But it's coming. It's coming. Not to mention whatever charge and fee that they make you pay every time, whatever the 40 cents that they make store munchers pay every time you swipe your card, they gonna transfer that over to you as the consumer. And it's not gonna stay at 40 cents, because 40 cents makes a certain person rich right now. And it's gonna be 50 cents and $1. Then your minimum purchase eventually gonna be up to $10. Inflation is on the way, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When I say it ain't gonna last forever, but I ain't gonna say it's gonna go all the way to rations and stuff like that. But before we go back to life like we knew it before, this world gonna have a big old dust up. The resource removal from this world, I think when they locked the world down, claiming that the situation is so bad people can't be outside and patronize their city, I think they have stored up whatever resources they're gonna take from this country, brought it to the coastline, and taken it away from the country. That's what I think. When it's a mandatory shelter in place type situation, I think they could be actually just, doing stuff they don't want us to see. I have another theory on that, but I'm gonna get into that later on. But when inflation does come, realize that we're gonna be blamed for the inflation. We're gonna be blamed for it, American citizenry. And then black people, if they sign a finite resolution to the atrocities of slavery, any reparations have to be in perpetuity. I got shows on that. Y'all gotta check out my catalog. But I'm gonna talk about the stimulus package that they gave us. We're gonna be blamed for the inflation that's on the way. The money that people took for unemployment because they jobs was taken away, they gonna get blamed for the inflation that's on the way. The people that had to eat, they got food stamps, they gonna get blamed. We gonna get blamed for, for the inflation that's on the way. The small businesses that took out loans and stuff like that, and then a whole bunch of the ones that didn't even get a chance to get one, still gonna get blamed for the inflation that's on the way. But y'all realize the Lakers gave back $26 million. They said, I don't know if they didn't need it or what, or they would rather other small businesses have it. But you heard what I said. That was a small business loan to the Los Angeles Lakers. We can all agree that the Los Angeles Lakers can assume to be profitable now and in the future, possibly. But they're definitely not a small business. But when they gave that $26 million to the Los Angeles Lakers, that same week, true small business owners couldn't get a call back. Matter of fact, when they called, some of them got busy signals. Couldn't get an email response. Couldn't get any information about their mandatory. I mean mandatory because these loans really were supposed to help small businesses stay open. They couldn't even get a call back from them agencies. But the Los Angeles Lakers already had $26 million as a small business. That shit crazy. But let me get to this real quick. For all my people who like to shoot guns, go out there, have fun, and, you know, work on your practicing and aiming and stuff like that, being able to pull food out of the woods and stuff like that. Your ammunition is damn near gone, and so are your guns. And it ain't got nothing to do with you. Trust me, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Because if all your ammunition and guns gone, that means the manufacturers that make the guns have stopped making guns, and y'all know that's not true. And they say bullets here are expensive out the blue. I mean, expensive out the roof, or hard to find. All your popular calibers, and that's bullshit too. Because that would mean that the bullet manufacturers have stopped making bullets, and nobody believes that. A few people know where I'm going, but let me finish my show. So, it never had nothing to do with you. Your buying power is not enough to stop guns from being on shelf. Your buying power is not strong enough to stop bullets from being on the shelf. It's just not. We're an industrial society. Y'all remember the toilet paper shortage in 2019? Yeah, that was bad. It was a bad situation. We recouped from that. You know, it's harder to make a bullet than it is toilet paper, but the point is we recouped from that, and I'm about to prove it right here. Some people know what I'm talking about. But bullets are almost being rationed to the American populace right now. Not because they worry about you shooting anybody. Trust me, they're not. But they're actually taking bullets from the American citizenry to bring the price of bullets up, because they still gonna sell bullets. They want to stop selling bullets. They, you know how they got the possibility and the will and power to do it. But what they doing is, the bullet makers have actually had a government contract since way back in the Gap. I can't even remember. Probably when they started Homeland Security or something like that, way back then. But what they do is, since the bullet makers have a contract with the federal government, their bullet making prowess is made priority over the bullets that go to the people that have the federal contract. I should have resourced the man's name, but it's a guy named Trey. He's a senator. I don't know if he's on that side, this side, or both sides. I'm not sure. But he always gets on different people on YouTube. He gets on different people about federal spending. I mean, he really is trying to, like, I guess, balance a deficit or whatever. But he always, he's very punctual, very, very curt. His name is Trey, but he's very curt and frank. You know what I'm saying? But basically, they had it explained like this here. He was talking to, I think it was a delegate from the Homeland Security. And Homeland Security bought so many billions of bullets. And they had only been involved in so many shootings. So the senator asked the person from the Homeland Security, how many bullets do y'all have? How many bullets did y'all need? How many bullets have y'all used? And through some great rhetoric, great governmental, parliamentary procedure, you know what I'm saying? They were respectful, but the facts came out that these bullets are just being hoarded by the federal government. Police agencies and federal agencies and civil agencies are stockpiling these bullets, not to keep them from you, just to drive the price up. So I'm not sure if the federal government is buying the bullets and then buying the bullets at their price and then selling them at a markup. I'm not sure about that. I can't say that. I think they just really, the people that make bullets are in with the federal government. And if you pay your lobbyists, things like this could happen. I say they're not trying to keep us from having bullets, because You know, every once in a while they will have a small influx of bullets at your range and gun stores, so you can get some bullets. I don't think they're taking all bullets, but yeah, basically that's like a ration, you know what I'm saying? But it's not gonna get that bad, I don't think. When we get to the point where we stop buying bullets, I think that's when the price will drop. But no time soon. But this pandemic changed the whole world as far as law enforcement. We've seen it all over the place. You know, they to just tie in law enforcement and education, they taking money from school and law enforcement. They only do that during wartime, but we're dealing with the pandemic right now. So, I'll say, it's obvious that it's zero tolerance. It's always been zero tolerance on black people in the poor side of town, and then zero tolerance on black people on the nice side of town too. And it's even more clear to see. It's even more evident during the pandemic, the the nicer part of towns or riotous or anarchy prevails or whatever right there. But in the black side of towns, it's almost you can't wear a mask without getting jumped on by the police. And I noticed it in my side of town, where when it first happened with the mask, mandatory to have a mask on. I noticed on the nice side of town, they wasn't mandatory. On the bad side of town, it was mandatory with security guards in the front, cops patrolling and all this stuff like this. So, my premise is I don't think that the federal government will care more about the bad side of town's health than they would on the good side of town's health. And medicine, I'm just gonna say the word medicine is my only proof. You know what I'm saying? But basically, it's a war about to happen. So many words, a war about to happen. That's all it is, just a war about to happen. This is people drawing lines and alliances, It's a war about to happen. If you spin the globe right now and stop it with your 5 fingers, everywhere up under your fingers, well, most likely fingers will be on water. But if one of your fingers touch land, they fighting over resources over there. You can spin it 50 times, it'll be the same thing. Like I say, most times you'll touch water. But if you touch land, they probably fighting over resources or gearing up to fight over resources. It's crazy. Like I said, they're taking money from education and law enforcement. They only do that for the war effort. And we've been doing that for 20 years. The war over in the Middle East is still going on, but we haven't heard much from it. When they start talking about the war again, some of the lines gonna be different. How we knew about it before is gonna be so different. It's like we haven't even talked about the war. But when it come back, it's gonna be damn near ramped up. It's a war about to happen, y'all. Period. Point blank. It's period. When you see that most of the countries that, how would I say this? Most of the countries that have something to lose are drawing alliances. Most of the countries with nothing to lose, you're not even hearing from them, not even hearing about them. They got, France had something to lose if a war happened. France is patrolling, I think it was the coast of Mozambique. I think they took over the gas fields in Mozambique. Shout out to Dr. Mumbai. She gave out a lot of good information. France is over there patrolling the coast of Mozambique. Everything kind of buck wild. So that means It was U.S., France, and Britain over there patrolling the coast of Mozambique. So that means that they gonna take over the gas fields over there. Bought and paid for. It's crazy. The whole world about to change, man. Anybody that got something either looking for defense or building up their defense, it's gonna get crazy. But like as far as like the social distancing and not so many people at the store and no sporting events and no school and stuff like that, this is all the same thing that they would do if it was a nuclear fallout. If we had bombing and shelling in major cities, we wouldn't have schools full of kids. We wouldn't have grocery stores full of people. You know, be thankful that you live in America where you can still have some expectation of civilization, because we really going into World War III. There's gonna be some major powers in this war. Major powers. And other people gonna be drawing a lines. It's gonna get pretty bad. But I'm gonna end this show like this by letting you know it ain't got nothing to do with your black ass. If you ain't black, the body of the first man. Well, I don't want to say the first man, because I mean we know the first man, and then it means he was a man. I'm gonna say the oldest person, oldest Homo sapien that we have came across came from Africa. So it's easy to conclude or make a theory that we have originated from Africa. But with that being said, everybody black, and it ain't got nothing to do with your black ass. Period. Point blank. At all. Nothing. Let me see. When true capitalism was supposed to take over, and when these warehouses went empty and these storefronts went empty, did true capitalism take over and they lowered those prices for other people to come in and do business? No, they didn't. So they didn't ask your ass nothing about no bailout. They asked Congress. All right. Whenever the president makes an executive order, I mean, he's trying to alter the Constitution, but it's not really. He don't need go through all them checks and balances to do so. Did he ask you anything? Executive orders have changed your life if you're alive in 2020, or really any time within the last 20 years of the history of the country. President didn't ask you anything, and executive orders changed your life. So yet again, they ain't asked your black ass nothing. Presidential recounts. When the tally for president comes back askew and they have to do a recount for some reason. I remember it was one comedian, he said, it's funny, I think it was Bill Maher, he said, it's funny how the bank never messes up my account. I have a lot of money they can mess up, but they never mess up my account. And when I vote, I'm only dealing with one character. I have like 8 or 9 characters in my account. I'm just ad-libbing, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? He has at least, $1,000 in the account. He has 4 different, decimal spaces where the bank could make an error. But they never make an error. When you vote, it's one man, one vote, one woman, one vote. And for some reason, that always gets mixed up sometimes. But my point was not to ad-lib. When they have a recount, they don't ask your black ass nothing. They give you the president. What's wrong with you guys? They ask the electoral college, people that you'll never know, and they come out and give you a president. And ask your ass shit. We're about to go to war. I don't care if you love the country we're going to war with. I don't care if embargoes or taxes or tariffs affect the country that you identify with. They didn't ask your black ass nothing. Nothing at all. They gonna ask Congress. So with that being said, make sure you vote. You really think you're changing something, make sure you vote. You might be changing something on a local election level, might be. I could say might be. But still again, you know, they ain't worried about what you thinking right now. They not. I brought up Mozambique. I brought up, you know, the riots that's going on out here. The only thing we could do is not contribute to this system that's actually hurting us. That's all we could do. Bye-bye Dick Gregory, rest in peace. He taught me more about love than anything else in this world. He said God is not a pit bull, it's a universal God. He's not Baptist, Christian, Islam, Judaism. He's a universal God. I think believing in one God, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta believe in that. I think it's monotheism. I forgot what it's called. But you gotta believe in that to believe in God. And so I ain't gonna say God is what you're supposed to believe in, but believe in good and God will reveal itself because everybody knows that all good is God. It's wild. But with that being said, yeah, they're not worried about your vote. But if you want to vote, make yourself feel good, go ahead and vote. Because every year we vote for less taxes, less war, lower prices, lower gas prices. And here we are. So, peace.